All right, what's up, everybody? Good to be back. Oh, we had a long weekend. We had the 20K. It was a lot of fun. We came up just short at 11th, unfortunately, but it was a good event. I had a lot of fun. Really cool that um, the the Realm Games put that event on for all the Fab players. I mean, it's definitely the biggest, I believe, of all like the store ran events. So shout out to Realm Games for doing that. It's not easy doing things like that, so we really do appreciate it. Um, Also, I know a lot of people have seen where they made like the custom play mats. Unfortunately, mine got lost. I would love to show it, but I did not get one for whatever reason. But I was like one of few. But it is what it is. It was the thought that count, and yeah, really cool of them to do that. And yeah, so I got one kind of announcement, if you want to call it that. We're gonna be changing things up a little bit. What we're gonna be doing with the stream is nothing's changing on Wednesday. We're staying the same, right? A lot of the people that I've talked to, anytime somebody like walks up and says they enjoy the stream, I try to ask them like what their favorite part is or whatever, and they really like the gameplay aspect. So from now on, the streams are going to try and focus more on the gameplay, because that's what it seems like people enjoy the most. And who am I to deny that, right? So that's what we're going to try and focus on. While we have a down season over the holidays, what I'm going to try to do is switch over to Twitch starting this week or next week. We're still doing Wednesdays here, same times. Nothing is changing on YouTube here, daytime, whatever. It'll be staying the absolute same. However, in addition, we're gonna start playing around on Twitch. We're gonna do a couple streams. I've already got almost everything set up. Just a couple more things that I gotta get done, and we'll be good to go live over on Twitch. Looking forward to that. Actually, let me go ahead. So yeah, I'm gonna look for the link while I'm talking, and we'll go from there. So we're gonna try and do some stuff on Twitch. Is the main point. We'll just be doing a couple streams over there. But like I said, nothing is changing on Wednesdays here. Nothing is changing at all. Okay. Okay. All right, that's the Twitch channel that I will be streaming on. So if anybody is willing, I really would appreciate it. Uh, you know, hop over there and like Josh said, bother me over there. The more the merrier. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see what we can get going over there. I'm really excited to do it because they have the category thing, right? I really want more people to participate over on Twitch because I think that's our best avenue to get players to see the game that are not currently playing the game, right? Um, that is kind of like the idea, right? It's very difficult to kind of um, it's very difficult to basically. Oh, everybody's falling over there, and the sound's going off here. That's cool. That's one of the things we got to work on. So yeah, that's basically the idea, and we're gonna do that. I've got to turn that off. Let me know, chat, if you can hear that. That little Twitch follower sound. Let me know if you can hear that. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. So to start today's stream, basically what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be playing a lot of Azalea games. I say a lot. We're gonna be going for at least 2 hours or so. knocking a lot of games out. And there's just one thing that I wanted to touch on before we get going there, and that is going to be there was a tweet that I put out. A lot of people probably saw that, and I just wanted to kind of discuss it a little bit. I think the point that I was trying to make kind of got construed a little bit, and people just took it and ran with it, right? So this is what I'm referring to. This is the tweet that I sent out. It was basically right after the conclusion of the Realm Games event, and basically I was just talking about how extreme slow play kind of degrades the entertainment value of the Flesh and Blood streams, and how the Flesh and Blood streams are basically one of the most important ways to okay, thank God it's only me that can hear it. So basically, it's one of the most important ways to introduce new people to the game. They watch the stream, they like, oh, that looks fun, right? So I think that it's a very valuable thing to keep at a very high entertainment value to recruit players to the game. And they kind of took it and ran with it. They started calling Brody out and stuff like that. And that is not what I intended this post to be. The point of this post was simply, and I actually attached a clarification to it, basically saying that I wasn't calling a shot at anybody. It was just me trying to point out that there could be some flaws in the rules enforcement or / policy. And if players act within the rules in how they're enforced, then they're doing no wrong, right? And that's basically referring to players like Brody that do take a little longer, right? And that's okay. If they could sit there for 30 minutes, and if the judge deems that that's okay, then that's perfectly fine, right? There's nothing, they're not doing anything wrong, right? We can't blame them for doing it. It's kind of like you don't know till you know, right? Kind of situation. Especially in like untimed rounds, right? At least, you know, in a Swiss round, you kind of know that you have 55 minutes and you kind of know how to act accordingly. But we're really talking about like the top 8, the untimed rounds. This was a comment more, not even toward the judges. It was more toward like the policy. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's basically the idea is, we're just, I really think that the policy is worth a review as far as like top 8, maybe have clear guidelines on how to enforce the slow play in top 8 situations, and things of that nature, because any top 8 match should have a dedicated judge and they should know exactly when to handle certain situations as far as time and stuff like that. So, okay. Kyle's going to help me get all the Twitch stuff squared away. I think I got most of it done, but like, you probably know more than I do. But yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that clarification out there, really like make sure that the correct point was given out, because some people just kind of ran with it, and that was not the intention. Once again, I don't think anything that Brody did was at all at his fault, because he's acting within the policies and the guidelines that are set forth, right? Or they weren't enforced. Either one. It doesn't matter. The fact is, you know, it is what it is. So I just want to make sure that that was not a dig on Brody. I even sent him a message and said, hey, you know, this is not a dig on you or anything like that. And he was really cool about it. He said, I understand. Thanks for clarifying and stuff like that. So I just wanted to get out in front of that and make sure that everybody knew that I wasn't calling anybody out, right? Are untimed rounds not to give players unlimited time to make play, but to make sure that the game comes to completion? Correct. So the point of untimed rounds is you cannot have a draw in a top 8 situation, right? Because if you can draw in a quarterfinal, then you can theoretically draw in a final. And then that creates like a whole new game and that's just disastrous, right? So untimed does not equal untimed does not equal untimed or unlimited pace of play, basically. So you still have to maintain a certain pace of play to make sure that the uh-oh. We are dropping a few frames. Let me fix that real quick on the fly. Definitely done this before. Sorry if we catch a little bit of lag there. Give me a second. We should stabilize. So so that is the idea, is the game needs to come to completion is the main aspect. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure of something real quick. I will be right back. Okay, I think we should be back. Let me know, chat. Let me know if you can hear me. I think just let me know, chat, if you can hear me. All right, are we good, chat? We should be good. I really do apologize for that, but we should be good. Okay, sweet. I really do apologize for that. Sorry, router issues. It be like that sometimes. But like I was saying, we're gonna get started with some Azalea gameplay. The list that I'm going to be playing today is going to be the Brody Spurlock list that won the 20K. Just trying some things out. Gonna have some fun. Play a little bit of Azalea. Cause why? Cause why not? Right? That is the plan. Just let me know in chat if you can hear me. Okay, we are live and ready to rumble. Sweet. Okay, so my chat just was not updating. That was the problem. Sweet. Got one thing down. So yeah, let me hit the points in chat real quick before we hop over there and take care of that business. Like I said, I really do apologize for the internet, everybody. I wish there was a way I could control it. Okay. So people have brought up some chess timers, like a couple people brought up in chat. One that makes running tournaments very, very expensive. Let me update the chat link in the software. Let's see if that works. There we go. We fixed it on the fly. Look at that. We're getting better at this. So the chess clock makes things like a lot more expensive to run the tournament because there's a lot of priority windows. Then things would get like abused all the time, right? So I don't think that's a good way. And not only that, but like a lot of decks in, for example, if you're like on the defense, you're never taking a lot of time on a chess clock, right? Because you're just covering up a number and there's not a whole lot of thought process beyond that. So therefore in that dilemma, you are disadvantaged. So I don't think chess clocks are a great way to do it. So with that being said, chess also has completely open information. That is a great point as well. Yeah, yeah, and that's why I had to bring up Brody is because a lot of people just default to that, right? Um, chess clocks. Yep. Is it round time? Yep. Okay, and then we got back. Still, how do you enforce people not playing slow? So the best way that I could come up with like an answer on how to kind of handle that situation is basically if so everybody's been in a situation or two where basically today is just the dogs are barking. Everybody, so everybody's been in a situation or two where you kind of got to go in the tank. You're in a tough spot. You got to solve a problem, whatever the case may be, and you tank there for a couple minutes, right? And like that is okay. That is like 100% fine. The problem is when that's the case. Like to give an example, during the Yuki and Brody game, there was a Raiden for 0. Brody's life total was um, at like 24 or something. Yuki's was at 3. She had like 2 soul, and like literally swung for 0, and he tanked for like a solid 5 minutes. There's just no reason for that, right? The only 2 cards that in all of Flesh and Blood that apply to that situation are Beacon Victory, which doesn't mean anything. It's basically just +2 because she didn't charge that turn, so it literally just doesn't mean anything. And then the second card is Lumina, which is what she ended up playing, which literally just means 1 damage and put a card in soul, right? So just do you have a dead card or not is the situation, right? And the judge kind of has to pick up on that, like, okay, it's not one of those situations, and you can't. It does kind of incorporate this kind of like boy who cried wolf kind of situation where, um, if you're in the tank every single turn, uh, you're not really in the tank. You're just playing at a slower pace of speed, right? So I think the judge just has to be given a number, whether that be 3, 4, whatever the case may be, and like, so basically come up with like a standard rate of play. Let's say 30 seconds or a minute a turn, only including your priority, whatever theoretical number you come up with. And you get like, basically in poker, they have like time chips, right? Where you have to play at a certain speed, but every now and again, you're in a tough spot, you throw in a time chip, right? And you get like 3 of them. That's like the scenario that I would see. They're obviously not going to give us damn like little time chips or whatever, but you can be allotted X amount of quote unquote tanks before it becomes abusing that system kind of situation. And that's for the judges to figure out, right? Or I guess that would be a Josh Scott kind of thing, because that would revolve around the policy, not necessarily, and then the enforcement of it would have to trickle from there, right? But that's kind of like the only thing that I could like actually come up with that's a halfway decent answer. I don't think it's a great solution. I think it's a starting place. I think chess timers is a terrible idea, but I think my idea is like a solid starting point to have the discussion around to come up with a decent solution after just talking about it for a while. What's up? What's up, Paul? Thank you for being here. So we're going to go ahead and hop into the games because that is basically all I wanted to cover on the slow play discussion, or whatever you want to call it. So we will go ahead and get that ball rolling. Let's go ahead and transition screens. Go full screen there. All right, we got a Bolton. That is definitely favorable for us. If anybody saw the Yuki and Brody match, pretty good one for us. So let's see what we got here. Basically, battering bolt is kind of interesting actually in this matchup because it does threaten beacon, and they're less likely to arsenal the beacon. They should go Raiden into us. That's the correct answer. I don't know what they actually will do, but I believe that is the answer. So we'll just run it and see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Leave it for the judges. The quality of stream doesn't matter. What do you mean by the quality of stream doesn't matter? Because I would make the argument that it's very, very important. Because if it was not, then why? If the quality is not important of the stream, then why do we do it in the first place? Let's save money and just not do it, right? I posted in the Discord, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, but we're having a 1K CC Fab event on the 20th of January, same place as the ProQuest. Yeah, that sounds cool. I do like 1Ks. Here we have a V. Did charge 1, so this is actually a good exchange for us if they do pop the... I almost want to just undo that and then probably block here and here. We don't want, because I don't think he's going to give this go again. I really don't. Or else it's really good for us, because then the whole reason Bolton wants to go first is to kind of start with some soul and keep it going. But if they are willing to burn it on this turn, then we kind of come out ahead, which is why I elected to kind of keep that remorseless instead. In this case, though, I think it's a lot I think we go ahead and load the drill shot, and then we will rabble, see what's on top, and then maybe lace afterwards. Is kind of what I'm thinking. So we're going to draw our card, and then we'll go ahead and rabble to see what's up there. Okay, we have a lace on top. We can't do anything with that. But what we can do is we can go ahead and get this 4 damage in, and then we can lace the drill. And then Arsenal the good old red in the ledger. Stream needs to be 1080 at min. It's 2023, guys. Could not see cards on the stream last week. Yeah, but like that wasn't Ethan doing the stream, unfortunately. If people are taking a while to play their turn, the viewing experience may not be good, like you said. The stream is a privilege for people not at the event. If I'm playing for money, I do not care how people are feeling about the slow play. Yeah, but that's the thing. If the game's not entertaining, I mean, let's use this analogy, right? Let's use this analogy. Let's imagine League of Legends esports, right? And every 30 seconds, it just buffers for a minute, right? That situation, now that's like silly, right? But like it's comparable, right? And so you're in the middle of like a real good skirmish, and it just buffers for a minute. Esports would not have as many fans, right? And if esports does not have any competitive anything, revolves around having fans, and maybe not necessarily fans, but people that aspire to acquire that position or that level of play. And if you don't have that, you don't have a competitive scene. It's a very important piece of it. There's no world where they can just hold tournaments. It doesn't matter what the tournament entertainment value is, just pay the people the money. The point is, there will be no money if the entertainment value is not positive. It's just a fact. That is just the reality of it. He's going to give this go again, which is fine. We had no intentions to block it anyway. Okay, so he is threatening a Lumina here, which is a little concerning. We are giving him free soul. We do want to kind of make him work for that. Technical buffering is not the same as players taking their time thinking. It is when it's 5 minutes on a Raiden for 0. That it is the exact same thing, because that player is actively choosing to draw out a non-climactic scenario. So in that specific situation, it is. So here we have an interesting situation. He doesn't care about the red ledger because he's playing out the Illumina now. We do have the option to double block with the pumps. That puts us off of an arsenal, which I'm not a fan of. So unfortunately, we just gotta let this one ride. You look at any sport in the game, just give everybody a 30-second turn timer like the NBA or NFL. Well, why do those timers exist, right? Why not let them take an hour to throw a free throw, right? Why give them only 45 seconds? It's because of the entertainment value. And the more something is drawn out, even look at something like baseball, where it's historically known to be a lot more drawn out. And they have done things like reduce the amount of times a team can go to the mound and things along those lines to prevent people from... This is really good. To prevent people from basically just sitting there and preventing people from just dragging out the game and reducing the entertainment value, which reduces advertisement, reduces, all types of things. Yeah, I was gonna go for the red and leisure, but I think the dominate here means he can't give go again, and we remove his ability to arsenal. I think that's a better combination than just redding him, because there was no way that we could dominate the red, right? He could just give his hand, arsenal his best card, and go about his day. So I think this is slightly better. So yeah, there's just like a lot of reasons why it needs to be entertaining. And I understand people are playing for money and they want to take their time. I 100% get that and I support that. But at the same time, if the entertainment value is not there in the future, there will be no money to play for. It's as simple as that. And I can guarantee you that, right? So dragging out a game is bad, but games that go to overtime is free and good. I mean, yeah, because you're watching an entertaining, you're still watching the same pace of plays, right? It's still entertaining, it's still impactful, right? It's not just a giant pause in the middle of your game. There's like big differences. Card games are not flashy and spectacular to watch by nature. I think it ought to be up to judge discretion. Any solid number you pick for slow play will probably be controversial as well. I agree. And that's why you have to do like training with the judges or policy or whatever the case may be, right? It's not something with like a very easy solution there, right? Uh, it just is what it is. But just because something is not flashy and spectacular doesn't mean it can't be, right? Go watch. Okay, I'll give you an example. Go watch any of the most recent Magic the Gathering Pro Tours. I don't know how to play Magic, and I thought they were very entertaining because they were fast paced. Players were playing quickly. There was small gaps between rounds. The analysis was top tier. Like, I don't even know how to play the game, right? And I thought it was entertaining. So you can't really use the not flashy and not spectacular. Like that's like giving up on it, right? If that's the case, then once again, if something's not flashy and not spectacular, why are we streaming it? There's no real point. So we have our red here. We can knock something, although knocking is just basically a card for dominate, which is not the most exciting thing. He cannot give this go again, and the draw is completely invaluable due to, I mean, he can snap it. That's a fair point. But overall, this turn is really bad. But that is a production issue rather than a player issue. No, if you look at the Magic game, they were making quick plays. It was action packed. It was, you know, I agree it's a board state game and a lot of the decisions roll over from decision point to decision point. I'm not saying that it's a 1-to-1 comparison and that the time elapsed should be the exact same, but what I'm saying is we should be in that direction more so than not. This is a tough one. We go here, knock, so we have an extra card to block with. But do we? He's gonna snap it anyway, so the card draw doesn't matter. So I think we just block 3 there to just save damage. Not really like stop anything, because I think he's gonna snap into Raiden anyway. The Pro Tour was a live broadcast, but you're correct. There was like a 30-minute lag where the production team did chop it together closely. You're 100% correct. It is not technically live. However, the part that the part that, you know, the gameplay part might as well be live, right? They weren't chopping any of that out. They were just simply splicing it together and getting rid of the gap between games, right? But yes, you're 100% correct in that. So he still has no hero ability here. What are the rules if you're in the finals of a streamed event and do not want to be on camera? You have to be on camera if you want to collect prize support. That's the rules. There's a lot of tournaments that I don't quote me on this, but I think you signing up for the tournament waives your obligation to be off of the stream. It's not for every tournament, but I've seen a judge say that they forfeit prize if you decline to be on stream. I think I heard that conversation correctly. I wouldn't quote me on it, but I'm 90% sure that's how it went down. Right, so they can edit the tanking. They could, I mean, but you have to look at. I don't know if you saw like the room that those people were working in. It was like a whole team. Like it was a lot of stuff going in the background just to like make all of that happen. Yeah, you can request not to on Swiss, but not for top 8. That sounds correct. We have to keep with our game plan. I guess we should have saved the knock for the Raiden. I did not put the pitching into the verses together, but hopefully it's not going to matter. So we're just going to get that free opt in case there is something up there. I mean, that's kind of good, right? Guaranteed dominate. Let's leave it on top. Now we have a couple options here. We can. No, we have to keep with our original play. I was going to say we could red snap, but that telegraphs it way too much. Not saying that this won't. I mean, this warrants a 9 block, right? Or 10, if he wants to stop the. Yeah, I want to do. I thought about possibly. I mean, I don't think we're gonna need endless arrow for the end game. We just want to stay on an arsenal to like look at more cards, basically. But he has to overblock by 2. He probably knows that, but the ability to overblock by 2 would be 2 cards and all of his armor to go to 10, in which we bank a yellow for the following turn anyway, which is definitely fine. And then we can, with endless arrow in arsenal, we have a much better situation the following turn if he does overblock this to endless arrow, snaps, rain razors, and then load up that red infecting shot that we know is on the top. Okay, we'll go and land it here so he doesn't have a good Raiden play. It looked like the intentions with a very high soul were going to be play a 0 cost charge card, charge, and then Raiden. And we can't deny it because he has the courage floating. And so this should just like shut the turn down, maybe throw 1 attack charge, but that would get him off an arsenal. And so it's basically the on hit is worth basically 3 to 4 value, depending, or not. It's worth 1 card exactly because that's what he gave us. Reinforced line and Bolton. I respect it. I think it's pretty good. Okay, here we got some options. I think we want to opt first. We have a seek and destroy on top. I think we want to draw that because what I want to do. Yeah, I think I see the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the endless arrow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to snap it. And we're going to load Death Dealer, pitching the blue. That'll draw us the pump. We'll play the pump on the bolt and shot, send it, get go again, pop bracers, infecting. And we can choose to either arsenal the rabble or go and play it depending on what the... But one thing I noticed in Brody's gameplay was he was expending these almost as early as it made sense. Which means that I guess there's like a natural inclination that like maybe he can't, maybe he was ending some games and not having the ability kind of, situation, kind of losing value, which makes perfect sense. So here we already know a red's on top for sure. So what we're going to go ahead and do is play that rabble to guarantee that value. And then now, basically, since the endless arrow hit, we get to play out the rabble and still not come off of an arsenal, which is pretty good. Because this line's better, Damien. We're doing this and then bullseye bracering and the infecting. And still having an arsenal. And we're splitting up all our on hits across 3 different attacks. Endless had its own on hit. This one has seek and destroy, and the next one will have a blood rot. Really making this as painful as possible to pick your poison, basically. Because if we were to bullseye bracer in the bolt and shot, it no longer has a on hit. And we actually have a really good scenario here where if this hits, we get to save our bullseye bracers, which is kind of cool. But it looks like that's not happening, which is fine. Higher chance that this infecting does hit. Sure. And we'll go pyong. 3 and 4 attack turns with Azalea feels so good. Yeah, but you like really got to work for them. They're not like Azalea where it's just like you just throw them up. But yeah, they definitely do feel good for sure. 2's a little much. We do like this card, but not in this abundance. So we have a couple options here. We don't have snaps, so we do need to block down to reduce the possibility. Because if we don't have it, if there's an arrow on top, basically, then we're forced to just basically pay for it with Codex and Arsenal one. So we do need to block down anyway on this attack. So that is exactly what we are going to do. He already has +1 on it, so it's not like we can deny his go again. He's basically guaranteed it. And then we just have to take this 4 and see what's on the top. Okay, we have a Deadeye, so we can go and do that. We'll pitch the Codex, play that, go ahead and get whatever it is. So that's perfectly fine. We'll Dami Mommy into it. We'll go ahead and rip it, which leaves us to 1 floating, which allows us to play this one. And not discard a card. And then we'll pick our best arrow, which is definitely going to be a red in the ledger. And then we will fire said arrow. And then still have an arsenal do the ponder. We take those. We take those. Just so everybody knows, at the top of the chat is the link to the Twitch channel that I will be streaming on in the next following days. We're going to be doing a lot more gameplay videos. If anybody's interested in that, the link is in the top of the chat. Feel free to go over there, hit that follow button, and get that notification on when I go live. I appreciate the support. All right. So they are having a hard think. So they get an attack. Yeah, it's only when there's a name counter. Unfortunately, this does not have a name counter, so it's just a pump. But it is a pump, so they have to block 8 if they want a turn, which is at least 2 cards out of their hand. Which, dealing with Bolton, means that he can only charge the card that will be... Or he basically has to block 2 cards, give the rest of his armor to block the 8. And he has to discard due to Codex. So that means he only has 1 card in hand, which means the only card he can play and charge is the one with the lower attack, which means he will not be able to give it go again due to frailty, no matter what card it is. So we've basically denied his ability to have a turn next turn. With the combination of the frailty, the Codex, and the amount at which the Red and Ledger is coming in for. We are early to the stream. What's up? Thanks for joining. I do appreciate it. This is the first game. And it's going pretty good. Pretty good. No complaints. Nothing crazy's happened. We have been luminated once. We're trying to prevent it from happening a second time. Ooh, Soul Shield. That's good. So, I mean, it means that he's taking the turn off anyway. So we have full tempo. We have a good arsenal. Ooh, this is good. Oh, this is good. Holy cow. This is everything I thought it'd be and more. So, in this situation, we want a pump to be on top. So I think we flip. We look for a pump because we want to draw it, right? Off of the Death Dealer. That is a pump. We'll leave it on top. And then what we'll do is we will seek, give the on-hit effect to the arrow that matters less. Because we don't mind if he actually blocks this one because we want to Death Dealer anyway. We are not actively trying to go for a reload here. And that's why we wanted the pump on top anyway. So what will happen is when we load the bow, or load the Red in the Ledger, we'll draw the pump, and we'll have the ability to double pump, right? Is kind of the idea, if we so wish. Yep, we're just trying to split our on-hit effects. That's the number one thing. Just trying to split those on-hit effects. Put on as much pressure as we possibly can. Okay, looks like he's going to let it hit, which I believe is the correct decision. Because I haven't activated the bow anyway. There is a situation where we could. No, that doesn't even make sense. So we're just going to activate Death Dealer, Saber Tunic counter. We're going to load what we know is good. And he did take all that damage. So we're definitely going to read the glide path, right? Because we could just flip into a Dominate. We have that ability if it is a juicy arrow on top. It is a juicy arrow on top, so I probably just want to do that, right? Does that not just like almost kill him and give him a frailty? Yeah, we dominate that every time. And we have enough to give it a name counter, which we like. Pretty good turn. Yeah, we're saving Tunic, 100%, 100%. Although, if say this was a yellow, I would not be opposed to giving up the Tunic for the counter, because we are like right at that threshold. He only has 3 armor, so max block here is 5. That's 7. That puts him down to 1 if he gives us absolutely everything, assuming no D-reacts, of course. And the most important thing is we're giving him frailty, which actually matters a lot against Bolton, because it basically means that this V of Vanguard, unless he double charges, which he cannot do, basically he can only single charge. And if he single charges, it will not have a higher attack than its base. Therefore, he cannot give it go again. So doing this play, giving the frailty, basically makes the V of the Vanguard in their arsenal a dead card, which is exactly what we're trying to do. It's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to manage Bolton's ability. So we do have a Soul Shield here, unfortunately, or a Fate for C. Sure, that works too. And next turn, we have Tunic counter for the load on the 0 cost, if we can be so fortunate, which we've seen a lot of 1 cost, right? We've seen 2 Red Ledger, although we've only played 1. And we saw Remorseless, a bunch of Infecting Shots. So good chance of drawing a 0 cost arrow in the next hand, which makes this Tunic counter even more valuable. So effectively down to 2, because I don't think they're ever going to pay for this in Bolton. With a frailty. There's that 0 cost that we were talking about. And we have the blue to back it up anyway. So we got options. We might just pitch the blue, play, load, see what we draw, and go from there. Arsenal the Bolton shot for the strong following turn. There's the V, but he's forced to double charge here if he wants to give this go again, which is like the power of the play that we did, right? And there's no way that we respect this. Absolutely 0 chance. Okay, that's the courage token, which basically means the soul's live. We're only worried about Lumina here. That's the only thing. Oh, he only single charged, so he can't even give this go again. So that was a mistake. I'm not entirely sure they meant to do. They could undo here, and that's understandable. We'll definitely give them that undo if they wish, because you have to double charge here to turn on that Bolton due to that frailty token. Very unfortunate spot for the Bolton player. I did like Brody using blue infecting. Blue Bolt always feels underwhelming. Yeah, I agree. Da, 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 da. So for the following turn, the thing that kind of like just stands out to me the most is just pitching the blue, load Death Deal, or loading the Remorseless, playing the Deadeye, and then hopefully drawing a pump or a rabble or something off the top, and then just arsenling the Bolton shot. Seems like, okay, that makes perfect sense. There's no need to like overly beacon this. I think you just beacon for 1. Although fortunate for us, the Deadeye here is basically going to basically block a whole Lumina because of the frailty token, which is, I'll give it up for that all day. So they chose to beacon for 2, I believe. Yeah. For 2, maybe just thinking they have too much soul, they won't be able to actually utilize it all. They could go get a super E strike in this situation, but more than likely just the Lumina. That makes the most sense, but I've seen some super E-strikes, or celestial cataclysms, if you will. Josh always calls them super E-strikes because they come in for 7 and have go again. Yep, we're gonna let him have it because there's no on hit, and he's gonna play the Lumen. The question is, does he have 2 here? If he has 2 here, then that does present an awkward situation. Okay, so this is good for us because this is going to take up the courage token that was previously there. And now we have the ability to block out both Luminas if we wish. I don't think we really want to. I think we're just interested in blocking one of them. And that is all. So here, because of the frailty token existing, Deadeye is just a super clean block. Absolutely clean. We do have a situation here where we can... Is that another Lumina? I don't know what just happened there. I wasn't looking. So here we have an interesting situation. We are drawing a card off of Loading Remorseless with the blue, which means if this top card is not a pump, we basically just IP ourselves, right? Because we have the Bolton Shot and the other card that we drew, unless it's like a Rabble or something, which we have played just one. No, we have played all 3, so that is unlikely. So I think there is a world where we give up the Tunic and the Bolton Shot and then just deny the acquisition of the soul and the life gain. Keep the ability to dominate and then just arsenal whatever we draw off of the Remorseless trigger. See? That would have been just a dead card. And this has to be respected. So this is going to get 2 cards no matter how you cut it, unless there's a Fate Foreseen and Tunic or something like that. I wish the red 3-block pump was relevant so we had another good block. Yeah, it would be convenient. What's the red 3-block pump? What is it? I'm not 100% sure what card that is. I didn't know there was one. Oh, are you referring to Come to Fight? The generic? I'm not sure of a ranger one, right? Come to Fight's the only thing that blocks 3 pumps in red that I can think of. Oh, Melting Point. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that card. The one that blows up the daggers. That one. Okay, and then this is the part where Bolton just kind of struggles entirely for the rest of the game, because anytime Bolton has to block with multiple cards, it's very telegraphed on what he's attempting to do, right? If he plays a card and charges it, you know, there's only one thing that can happen, right? He can give it go again and swing Raiden, right? And we know exactly how to play around that, or whatever the case would be. So we're going to look at this top card. It is a pump, which we definitely need given our hand. So we will leave it on top. We will dominate it. Or hit the Dommy Mommy button. Go ahead and load. and just say they don't have a D-React in Arsenal? That'd be cool. Yep, Deadeye also blocks 3. It's one of the best things about it. And it pitches for 2. It's a yellow. It's insane. It's actually insane. So we just gotta hope for no D-React, and then that'll be game. One time. Could be a reinforce, unfortunately. And if that's the case, we do have to worry about possibly. It's super unlikely that we get fatigued. That's also why I gave the tunic over the cross rapids, because we do need to kill him with the dominate. But with reinforce being in the list, there's no telling. There's absolutely no telling. Okay, that's all you got. So that's fine. Full cover up, but now the next time that we can get to, so we got the knock. Okay, rating for 0. You got it. Or should we think about it for 5 minutes, chat? No, I'll just hit pass. Okay. Was that too bad? Was that too bad? Okay, let's go and flip up the top. It's a knock, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna bottom that. We're gonna play the knock. We're going to get a 0 cost of some kind. Endless arrow is fine. We're going to hit the dominate button on it and go boom, boom, boom. For 10 dominate. Like infecting shot can be 4 attack with on hit. Headshot can be 4 vanilla. Yep, too fast. Is there a place? Too fast. Is there a place for New Horizon Azalea in the current game? I mean, it's not a bad deck. I just don't think it's as good. Just drawing the card off Death Dealer kind of negates your. It's like an aggro deck that gets its pitch card refunded, basically, is the way that the math works out. So good game to them. So I think that's just a little too good to give up. That's my personal opinion. But the Sandscour list is not. I don't think it's bad. I just think that it is just not as good. I have seen a list that kind of has both. I thought it was a little crazy, but maybe it's something you can play around with. More power to you. Yeah, definitely not a bad list. I just don't. It's not the one that I would play. I think Death Dealer is just too much value. Okay. Prism. I don't know what to do in this matchup, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I don't have a clue. I think we lose by fatigue. I don't actually know. I mean, we're definitely putting these in. No question there. If we put in those, having yellows wouldn't hurt. If we're putting in this many attacks, a pump wouldn't hurt. I think it comes out to this. I think our greatest threat in this matchup is getting fatigued. I think that's our greatest threat. Oh, David, that was you. Thanks for the game. Yeah, I think that's just how we play it right there. Oof, trying to lock them out of the game ASAP. I will try my best. This is not the hand to do it. I'll tell you that much. This hand sucks. And they're going first. You can't clear ores effectively, so if boarded, get out of control. That's your biggest. Yeah. Figment of Ravages. Deal 1 arcane to any target. Oh, and we have AB. We get to fix our hand? Holy cow, they done messed up. This does force action. That's the good part about it. Oh. Do we just go ahead and yeeteth and deleteth? Like, I don't know. This is a popper for the following turn, though. So maybe we just send the red. I'm being greedy. Keep that. Arsenal that. Or maybe whatever we draw. Yep. So this should... We got there, guys. I don't know what we did. But we're not counting that one. Okay. I'm not going to lie, chat. Kind of glad that happened because I didn't know what I was doing in that matchup. I did not have a clue. I just saw Lucas. A lot of his matches just ended in fatigue because I think that he probably just delineated that that was like his best shot kind of situation. So it is what it is. I think we just go with like the aggro package. I don't think we do anything fancy against Ye El Kano. We definitely don't add the block. That's for sure. Okay. Yeah, they saw Red Ledger and just gone. This sucks. Really bad for us. Thankfully, we have a blue. Uh-oh. Rut-row ragging. Stop it. Never punished, bro. All right, chat. You know what we're doing here? You know what we're doing here, chat? I think we do it. I think we do it. I mean, that's just so much damage, right? He has no hand? Oh, shit. Oh, oh, not like this, chat. Oh, not like this. Oh, no. Oh, no. Please lay into me. Oh, no. Bro, this is bad. This is real bad. Well, this card's way worse, so let's just get that out of our hand, I guess, and then pass turn. Please don't kill us. Thank you. Oh, not like this. Not like this, chat. Welcome to Ranger Hands. You thought Runeblade days were gone. Oh, no. Oh, no. Now he's got the spindle. I think that hand just kills us. I mean, let's see, if we wouldn't have done the bullseye bracers, we would have gotten literally 4 less value from our rain razors because we would have gotten the infecting shot hit and the +2, so it's 4. With Arsenal, we would have been able to look 2 cards deeper for an arrow. So if the next 2 cards are an arrow, it was corrected, or a good arrow, then it was correct to just is an arrow? It was not. This is getting bad. We have to blonde Dommy Mommy, right? Oh no. We're not talking about that, chat. 2 turns, no arrows. For 2 turns. Oh yeah, and there's no way that we could have like leveraged the rabble or anything. Like it just, yeah, 2 cards deeper, it would not have mattered. Which is unfortunate. So yeah. That one felt like Runeblade. I feel like I'm right back at home. Sorry, that one like lagged a little bit. I didn't know what was going on. Nothing happened. Yeah, that was a rough one. That uh-oh. We're dropping frames again, chat. Hang on. Here we want to go second. Chat, let me know if you're seeing some lag. It just popped in and started rolling dice. Holy shit. No lag. Okay, cool. Guess, yeah, we're not dropping like, it's just a few frames. Nothing crazy. About 2 down. Let me just write it down. Let's see, monitor as the situation goes. I can even adjust the bit rate real quick. Output. Let's go here. Apply. A little easier. Okay. So we got a claw. What they roll? A 5. So 2 action points. I guess we just make our hand the best it can be. We can turn this on, which is kind of cool. If I'm being honest. So let's just do that. Let's block with that and turn this card on. All right, cool. I appreciate the help with that one. So what we'll do is we'll just lace into Deadeye into Codex. Seems decent. Oh wait, I need to get my free look. I'm so good at this game, guys. And it has the oh my Lanta. We get the aim counter and the Deadeye. Oh, chat. Oh, this feels good. This feels good. Let's go, chat. Oh, I saw that infecting shot. I was like, oh, baby. This is Codex. Mess his turn up. This is double blood rot, Deadeye discard on an infecting for 12, bro. And we get an arsenal off the ponder token. Give me that husk. Give me that husk. Or we just get all his armor, which is cool. Like this, we'll take this exchange. We got almost all of his armor and 2 cards out of his hand for 4 of our cards. No, 3 of our cards because we're arsenaling, and we're arsenaling the best card. Oh my god, this is too good. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, that's cool. This makes up for the last game. That's a fact. Anytime it goes to the graveyard, it goes to the banish zone, which turns off Leviathan, which is cool. We do need to play around Fleshbag a little bit here. What we need to do is let's get a free look. Okay. Do we want to draw that? Because we're going to Deadeye. Or do we dominate that with the Deadeye, give it the aim counter? It hits, we reload and play either one. I kind of like that more. Yeah, let's do that. Let's dominate it. Put the counter on it for the Deadeye. It's a 0 cost, so we're cool. Then we play the 1 cost. And so this is what? 7. Yeah, 7 dominate on hit. We get to fire our stuff for free, which is kind of cool. This plays around Fleshbag no matter what you do. Well, I guess it doesn't if he gets... Okay, that's cool. Well, it's not cool. I'd rather have the other one if this is going to hit. Oh, it's not going to hit. So it did not matter. Okay, cool. So we'll just play this. Okay, so we literally have all the armor but 1. So we're good. We just pass turn. We arsenal that. And we have a good hand. Sure. Swing pick for 8. Cool. You got it. All right, so now we need to get to a red in the ledger as quick as possible, kind of lock the turn down, make them start taking blood debt damage because we're behind, but like if we can be heavily disruptive, it's not the worst thing on the planet. So what's the best thing in our graveyard? It's not anything crazy, so let's go and get our free look. Not what we're looking for. So let's throw it to the bottom. We'll take another look. Lace does not help us. Well, it possibly could. Okay, this will come in for 10. Does have the option to block this out. I think they do intend to block with a D react here. The question is, can we punish this in any way? We don't really have anything that's like super good here. But I think we have to play the codex anyway. We could just go back and get the endless, fire it. Yep. To be assumed. And then we'll just go and get the... So we know we're drawing a Lace of Blood Rot, which means that it's definitely okay to arsenal the arrow. If it does hit, right? So we'll just do that. And that kind of sets us up for the next turn, having something pretty decent. So we'll arsenal the arrow. Okay, we have some options here. Tunic is up. I have not been able to crack the Bravo matchup because I haven't gotten the chance to play it, unfortunately. They are taking 3 on this exchange, but that's okay. They're only sending 2. We kind of have a somewhat dead hand here. So we're going to go ahead and give up the Sleep Dart. Kind of preserve a little bit of life. Go and get our free look. Not exactly what we're looking for, but it's actually pretty good in this situation. What it does give us the ability to do is go ahead and go into it, then play it. And then we can tunic into the load and maybe get another pump, which would be kind of cool. So it is kind of a tough choice here on whether to do the red and the ledger. I think we're forced to just load the red, even if it does make our next turn slightly worse from like a risk standpoint. Yeah, because like we're in this situation where we have to either fire both or whatever. But I think at this point we can't risk it. We have to just like, is 8 enough? 8's not enough because they could just... Yeah, let's threaten that arsenal. Let's put some pressure on that arsenal. That could have been a bullseye turn. I know it sounds crazy, but maybe no. I mean, it just depends. If we draw another arrow off the top there on the Death Dealer, then it's just bad, right? But as long as we can keep tempo and make it where they're taking 3 damage a turn, we should be fine, because them transforming means nothing. There's nothing of value here to play. So the transformation means absolutely nothing. We're getting them to block with a Blood Rush Bellow, which is pretty cool. And they're sending a decent amount of damage back, which is fine. I think we are just going to have to take it. They'll take 2 more, and now we kind of have a little bit more tempo. We have some armor that we can lean onto if we really have to. But we're definitely just going to load this remorseless and see what we draw. Pretty good. Let's take a look. We are going to leave that on top. And we are just going to go here and here. And basically the idea here is if we think this will hit, we'll play it. Because we know that we'll draw the pump. And we'll basically be able to guarantee that we'll have an arsenal, right? Because the worst thing we do here is come off of an arsenal. Okay, so I'm under the impression that this will hit. If he does have a D-react, fuck it. He's taking 5 damage to play it. Cool, that's fine. So we'll go ahead and just play it here. We'll get the ponder token, get our arsenal, and keep our consistency, being able to look down to card number 5 and 6. So we're going to arsenal that. And then here we go. We got a couple good options. He's going to take a lot of damage here, already under that key 3 number, which is cool. So we'll definitely block. Actually, I don't think we block here because we can play read, see if it's a pump, sink it, pitch the infecting for death dealer, and then we can double pump it, let him die to blood debt. So we're not going to block here. So we're going to get our free look. The only way that that block is wrong is if this is a really good arrow, and it is not. In fact, it's exactly what we want. So what we're going to do is read. Keep it on top. We're going to draw that pump. Then we're going to pump and pump and do that. And that's a high enough number to where it gets the whole hand. And they're going to die to blood debt anyway. So even if we brick, we can probably just block out and win no matter what. So GG there. So far, not so bad. Not so bad. We're doing pretty all right. Once again, I'm just going to keep saying it a couple times throughout the stream. At the top of the chat is linked the Twitch account in which I will be doing some streams later this week. Going to be focusing on gameplay, stuff like that. Going to try to draw a little bit of attention over to that platform. I think that's a great opportunity for our community to grow and just get a lot of exposure for our game. So if anybody is interested, please just click on that link, hit the follow button, and I would love to see you guys over on that platform. And we can get those numbers up over there, because the higher the number is up there of people viewing a category, the more attention is brought to it, the more people see it and whatnot. So definitely going to try and do my part and support that, because I think it's important. I guess we're just going to run the regular. I don't know. Oh, hardened cross straps. He's here for a good time and not a long time. Okay. High roller, intimidate. Okay. What are the worst cards in our hand? Well, if they want to, they have no arsenal. What is happening? This and this? Because we have to guarantee the arrow, quote unquote. And if we draw a yellow, we're just good. We're just good. There's an argument of which one to load. Against Rhinar, I would assume the infecting is just better. And in this situation, we are going to just... We didn't draw a pump, which is unfortunate. However, there is an interesting line where we can snap into a bullseye, into an endless, if we want to. It is super aggressive, but at the same time, well, we're definitely not doing it now. So let's go ahead and arsenal that endless arrow, or let's go ahead and arsenal the remorseless. Okay, just a 3. We're gonna block here. See what we got. We're gonna flip it up, get our free look. It is a pump. That's what we wanted. So what we're gonna do is we're going to hit the Dommy Mommy button. We're gonna play the pump. We are going to pitch the drill shot because I'd rather like the guaranteed arsenal. And now we have the option to either double pump or single. It's basically, do we get all of his armor now? And we don't have to have the risk of coming off the arsenal. Basically, if he has a playable hand, because this literally requires his whole hand in his armor. And he only has 2 armor left, and we can kind of like maintain that. This is kind of risky because we do come off an arsenal if this does not hit. But the way that we get punished is if we hold a pump back and then he has Blood Rush Bellows, which is like the only thing we're really worried about, and he just says, okay, I'll take it. But this one gives him the Holy Trinity of Blood Rot, Frailty, and Inertia. So we're going to try to give him every single one of those, unlock that achievement there, and try to hinder that Blood Rush as much as possible, if he has it. I don't know if he has it, but how quickly he blocked on the last hand would be kind of indicative that maybe he does. It seems like he's playing to, do I have a very, very strong hand? If not, just block it out. And this one's making him think, so maybe we're doing something right here. Just maybe. Just maybe. Oh, and pass on block. So we made the right choice to just dump it and give the Holy Trinity, and then we still get our arsenal. So good choice there. There's the Blood Rush that we talked about. Did discard a... Oh, there's a second one. Oh, that's cool. All reds. One time. All reds. Well, this is saving us 2 life. This is completely irrelevant. What did he... Intimidate the blue. So we can pitch that. We flip that up. We can give it go again. Okay. So we can't really block with either card in our hand. But if he tries to claw here, we got a lot of value off the Frailty, which is nice. The problem is he has not done anything, which would indicate... Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll just take that. Because after this turn, I don't think there's like too much... Because like, what can you cast off of 0? And he's going to lose this due to inertia anyway. He could harden cross strap into like a skull cracker, which would suck. That's probably what's going to happen. It's really the only thing about this line that kind of makes sense, but hopefully that's like a discard card. Oh, into a CNC. Oh, that's beautiful. Well played. There's nothing we can do about it. Okay, so that's all the gas. That's 2 Blood Rush out of the way. That hurt, though. That hurt. That does open us up for a new line, though. We did have the arrow there, so we were forced to like snap that if we missed the flip. But here, we can load the Sleep Dart. And oh, we can actually go ahead and rabble. Free look at the top. Lace with inertia. Okay, so that doesn't change anything. Unless we want to dominate. If we want to save our Snapdragons, what we can do is we can hit the dominate button, get a lace. We can lace, frailty. We have 2 floating. We can grab sleep dart, or it would be red infecting all day, which is not bad. It gives agency the ability to block, which typically we don't want to do. Or sorry, not the ability to block. It gives more damage, which is exactly what we want to do. So I'm in favor of that line. It just makes more sense than just burning snaps, playing lace, and doing the same thing. It just gives us an out to save our Snapdragons, which, since we're drawing a blind ponder token, makes me feel a little better. So we're going to dominate, get that lace in arsenal so we can just go ahead and play it. Then we're going to play our other lace. Then we're going to play our codex, which is going to force a card out of his hand. He's probably going to go get a CNC, which is fine. But we're going to make him pay for it. And what we can do is we can now still get a free look in case there is like a red ledger up there or something of that knowledge, and maybe get a dominate if we're lucky. Worst case scenario, we can find a card that we do not want on ponder token and get that to the bottom as quickly as possible. Is an option that we do have. All depends on what he wants to do. Okay, what'd they pick? Pulping. Okay. So they are all about the aggression. Holy cow. All right, let's get our free look. There's no reason not to. Absolutely no cost here. I don't mind drawing this. It's a pump that can go in arsenal, so we'll just leave that on top, but it's not anything that we can dominate into, and we cannot do... Or I'm sorry, I've already activated this, so we couldn't dominate into anything anyway. But we could look at the card, say we don't want that, put it to the bottom. So that's exactly what we did, except we liked the card, so we kept it up top. Also, that Snapdragon play that I mentioned earlier would get countered by the flesh bag, so I'm going to try to make as many... I'm going to try to get the flesh bag in a way to where he's strictly using it for armor and not getting any value off of the intimidate. That's my main goal in this match, is to make sure that he does not get that value. Which basically means attacking once per turn as many times as possible. It's kind of our goal. Just taking it? What? Double blood rot and inertia and frailty. That's 2 times in one game they got the Holy Trinity. Insane. They got the pulping, and what else? What else is good enough to almost die for it? This hand is actually insane. I mean, that's good, but you're just helping me kill you. That's all cool and all, but you're just helping me, and you're only doing 5 damage? Oh, man. Sure. Sure. Whatever you draw, you can't keep. But I guess you can pitch it into Blood Rot Pocket if you happen to draw a blue. If you drew a blue. Okay, they did not, so free value there. Okay, we have a lot of options here. we actually have a bunch of options. What we can do, a lot of these plays just get flesh bagged, unfortunately. That is just the name of the game. But what we can do is decrease the chances on what it gets intimidated. So we don't want to draw that. Not really doing anything for us. We're going to bottom that. And then we're going to play this. And then we're going to tunic counter. Load. This. Oh, this is so good, bro. Is he just dead if I find an arrow up top? I mean, I probably now that I think about it, the blue infecting shot was probably lethal if I just dominated it. But we're not going to talk about that, chat. I think I just gave up lethal. But let's find it again because we're good like that, right? Look at that. Look at that. And let's give it piercing. No, let's not. Because we want to save cards. And then, so if he intimidates here, he gets one of two cards, which, I mean, if that's all you're doing, I guess we just go ahead and play this, and then you can have the codex, basically. And then just make him have the biggest D react we've ever seen. Yep. Okay. And they want a rematch, sure. That's a pretty good one. We take those. We take those. A little sloppy on my end. The blue infecting was definitely enough to be lethal, but I just gave up lethal. But that's probably just me playing a little too quick on Talon Shard, trying to, you know, pay attention to multiple different things, whatever the case may be. But we'll see if we can just clean it up a little bit. All right, let's update our tracker. I think we are, what, we won, I think we're 3-1 because we got the Kano game that we won't speak of. Okay, so we're back at it. What we got here? So unfortunately, there's no possible way it's kind of unfortunate. What I was going to say is there's no possible way to like rabble and then dominate because we can't get anything into Arsenal is the problem. So unfortunately here we can't do anything fancy. We just have to pass. And in this situation, we want to keep the yellow because we don't have tunic counters. So we're going to Arsenal. Probably the because meditate we get to flip it. Yeah, it's the same either way. So Arsenal the rabble because it doesn't force our hand in any particular direction. Sure. All right, chat. What are we looking for? What are we looking forward to the most in heavy hitters? What class is everybody looking forward to the most? Claw for 5 this time. A little +2 on it. I don't really think I care. It's an all blue hand. I can do more damage than that, so we'll just go ahead and take the full 5. All right, we got a couple options here. We're obviously going to get our free look first. And then if we throw it to the bottom, we then have the ability to... I'm going to keep this one on top, though, because we're going to be able to load the bolt and shot, throw all our pumps, and go from there. Or do we just go for the dominate? I don't think we do. We have to load. Now let's keep that on top. What I need to do in the future with Azalea is understand the priority windows, or not the windows, but like whether I should be focusing on arsenal pumps, or I think it's pumps / go again is like the priority on what to arsenal. I'm looking forward to hopefully the limited format being good. I've heard that is the best intimidate I've ever seen in my life. What just happened? There's no way. There's no way. We just got 25%. Our only arrow, bro. Oh, no. Oh, this card's so good. That's insane. Oh, the perfect flesh bag into the blood rush. We're not winning this one, guys. It literally got 12 value. That is like the best intimidate I've ever seen in 2.5 years of Flesh and Blood. I've never seen it better. That's insane. You know what? If the world is fair, there's a 0 cost arrow on the top of our deck. And we're just going to dominate the shit out of them. You could have pre-meted the rabble since... Yes, that is 100% correct. That is a misplay. There was no reason to not pre-med, which means I gave up on 3 damage. However, there is the counter argument, which I don't think is correct. Playing pre-med increases the chance of the arrow getting intimidated out, but I do agree. I should have just extracted as much value as I could ahead of time. So 100% agree with you. I should have played the pre-med. 100%. But no matter how you cut it, this is bad. This is like... There's no way we win this. That flashback got so much. I've never seen it before. And it's not even an arrow. That's sad. I guess we just yeet it all. On hit reload. On hit reload. They just took all that. Oh my God. What's happening to me? 12. Okay. Okay. We can handle this, chat. There's 2 reckless swings right here. We can't play it. We can't play to that. We got to go, go, go. Yeah, something crazy just did just happen. Basically, they flesh their flesh bag got like 12 value. I attacked with a rabble and then they intimidated my only arrow. It was actually insane. We'll leave that on. Let's see. If we leave that on top, we can go get anything we want. But there's no... Yeah, okay. I know the play. So we leave that on top. We go here. Into... Here. Draw. Play. Endless. Dominate. And we don't come off of an arsenal this way. It's not the most exciting play, but we did block 6 damage and do this. And it stops him from setting up. He has to like actually play his hand out and stuff like that. Hey, it kind of sucks. We really need him to miss this. Oh, and he gains the resource. And he has claws. This is game. Wowza. That was actually wild. Best Intimidate I've ever seen. Actually insane. There was just no way after that Intimidate. I knew. And then they had the Blood Rush Bella that had absolutely insane value. Absolutely insane value. Is anybody in chat going to Orlando or the Battle Harden in Germany? If I'm not mistaken, this weekend we have a Battle Harden in Orlando, and then we have one in, I think it's Europe or Germany, the following weekend, and then like no more events for a month, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, we got Sam. We got Sam in the building. Okay. They can block out. This doesn't do anything. I think we just go normal. I got a feeling that Sam's got something spicy up his sleeve. I don't know what it's. Maybe it's like Fatigue Vincent or something. That doesn't even make sense because it banishes a card out of its hand. But Orlando, sweet. What you playing? Now I have to try hard. Yeah, I know. He's on something else. Pitch to make a rune chant, setting up his next turn. What did he pitch? What? He pitched that all you got? Okay. And blue putrid. I've been on blue putrid for quite some time. I respect it. Okay, we have a couple options here. I think we just dominate something. I don't think there's any reason not to. The question is, what are we dominating? He asked if I was streaming. So I think what we can do, we need to pitch the blue. So let's go ahead and load. Just a draw card is the main thing that we want to be doing. And we're going to load up this bolt and shot. We're probably going to knock into something. I don't think there's any reason not to. About to give away the sauce. The sauce. Oh, this is good. This is perfect. Okay, then we knock into whatever we think is best. So he already has 2 rune chants, so this is secured. We can't sleep dart to prevent the rune gate, right? So with that being said, I think it's just red in the ledger. I think it's just there, and then we do that, and then we double pump it, get the ponder, and go about our day. We have no reason not to, so let's just do that. Don't really want that on the ponder token, so we'll bottom that. This is a pretty good little arrow. He is just out. He has what, 7 blocking the armor. So unless he has a reduce or a sink blow or something, he has no option to. But I would love to get creepers here. That would make me ecstatic to get the creepers here. So more than likely, we're just gonna see a block, a card that's unplayable. Makes perfect sense. He's gonna take a little bit of damage. Had the sink blow in Arsenal, so. It definitely seems like he's just going to set up here, probably set up his next rune gate. I thought we bottomed that, but sure. Could have been 2 together. Yeah, you never know. We're never a being here. Banish the Runic Reckoning, which is in our favor. Basically turn that into 1 value. Not exactly the most exciting thing. I think we're going to block with our 1 cost because there's absolutely 0 way we can play it. And then we'll go about our day. That should be the right math. Then here we get a free look. We didn't really want the Deadeye anyway. That works. We'll take it. We'll play it. And then in this scenario, if we draw a pump, we have the ability. I like the endless here because if we draw a pump, we can just slam it. Not sure if that's. Oh, that's that's pretty good too. Unfortunately, we can't reach for that, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and throw every on hit in the building on this. Blocking 9, let's snap it. Let's codex it back. Let's try it again. For 6. We're winning the tempo play. Or not. Thank God we still have Ponder token. I'm not entirely sure if he's trying to fatigue us right now. He did start with plus cards. That's something I have to be mindful of now. We really needed to dominate here. And I think I'm willing to risk it in this particular situation. So I'm going to bottom this to a blind. Never punished. It's a pretty good arrow. There's just no downside there, right? Because if we hit a pump or a rabble or something like that, we throw it, right? We don't just want to pump up, because the way he does fatigue us is by basically getting enough room to play a card that deletes a card from our deck, or basically blocks his whole hand. Because if he ever keeps one card in hand, he has to banish it, right? So we're just trying to not give him that agency. Is the idea. I don't think fatigue is a real solution here for him, but we need to keep it in the back of our mind and make sure that it's never an issue. That's pretty good. We got a free card on the inertia value. Next turn is pretty intense though, so we need to push as much as we possibly can here. That's not doing it. Yeah, we definitely bottomed this. We take another look. Okay. This might help him though, if I'm being honest with you. Because in what war? Well, yeah, he wants to Deathly Well into another one. So this is going to help us. Typically, what Vincent wants to do is Deathly Well, deal the damage, make the bunch of rune chants, and then do another rune gate. So what we're doing by doing the sleep darts, we're basically making it where he can't do the double rune gate. If he has a putrid, we deny one value because he can no longer banish it. So we are going to just leave that on top. This is tough. Because we really don't have an amazing hand. We've only pumped once. So maybe bottom and then blind and then hope to get a pump and then we can load and keep going. Let's try that. I'm not sure if this is correct. Wow, it's the same card. Okay, in this situation, is there any way we can play the Deadeye? We have to come off an arsenal to do so. But I think it's more important. And it does have Dominate. It does have Dominate. So let's get the damage in while we can. It's scary that he's given up this card specifically because it's just like a 0 for 3 pump. Which means he is doing something on his turn. Not sure what, but he's doing something. Okay, so we definitely have a creepers play here. But we can't do anything about it. We just need to get Vincent blocking. Yep, there's creepers. What we got with it? Pigeon bread. That's good. Oh, he wanted to play that. That makes more sense. Into what? Just a flail? I'll give you tunic here. To stop the generation. I don't think it's going to last that much longer. Okay, this one's real easy. We're just going to pitch one of these, load the infecting, hopefully draw a pump. Be kind of cool. That's not a pump. We do have a very how do we put it? We have a very sus play that we can make. We can hit the Dami Mommy button, filter it, and if we land a pump, what we can do is play the pump and then bullseye bracer in something. But I don't think that's quite good enough. Maybe it is. It's interesting. Because this is only threatening 7, plenty of armor. We're at 24, starting to catch up. Has the rune chant generation on board. And really have to start pushing here, but how do we miss? How do we miss? If it's a rabble, it's fine. If it's a knock, it's bad. Yeah, knock would be the worst case scenario. Codex would be pretty bad. Will be man. If it's a pump though, we could send it, get +1, and send that to stop the rune gate. That's too good to give up. Yeah. This is so risky, but we need a pump. This works. This works. Okay. So now we can bullseye bracer in the sleep dart, which is going to threaten the rune gate here because he does not have a rune gate attack. That's the value of this card in this certain scenario. And so we're going to try and leverage that. Other than that, everything looks pretty standard, nothing crazy. Pop the bracers. Load in the sleep dart. And say, you lose rune gate, basically. If you don't block. Could just jam the armor here, though. It's a real possibility. What do we got coming in on the creepers? Tome. Tome from Arsenal. This is an old chain play that Chain used to do. Block with an attack and then Tome from Arsenal with creepers. Typically led to like some pretty decent plays that you could get a lot of value. But in that particular situation, we were able to get that on hit through. So no hero ability, which means no rune gate, which means he can make more, but really can't extract that extreme level of value from it. There's a very good chance he's playing that just to get it out of his hand. Yeah. That's what I thought. So we gonna take that damage for sure. And I don't think there's any world where we can give up the cross traps. I think we just need to pressure as much as we can because we also just don't want to keep that in arsenal by itself. So we could give a card actually. Right? Because this drill shot's not doing anything. We do have an extra card. Or do we? If we don't have the go again arrows, so no matter what, unless we hit it off the top. Unfortunately, we do have to keep it because if we flip into a pump, we need an arrow to load and we need a pitch card, which means, yeah, we do have to take this, unfortunately. So let's hope for a pump. Put it to the bottom. Okay. This puts any arrow card and puts it to the top of the deck. Okay. That was probably the worst hit. Oh, I gotta think. Sorry. I want to go get Bolton Shot, but there's nothing I can do with it, right? There's no way I can like get it into the arsenal to get the go again to then go do something else, right? Can we play it to no effect? Is that like what happens if I just pass here? So we just shuffled our deck, right? That's like the best out. And then hopefully draw a pump. Which we did. Yeah, because if we would have resolved the knock, we would have put an arrow on top, drawn an arrow, and that's not what we want to do. Like, it just doesn't do anything for us in this situation. We did get the creepers here, which is nice, but he's going to do a single room gate for 2, which is a good value play on his end. Okay, we have a lace, which is exactly what we want here. So what we're going to do is leave it on top. We're going to dummy into it. Play it. Play this, see what's on top. If it's a yellow or a blue, okay, it's a yellow, which means we can go ahead and load the red laser and not worry. Actually, probably the infecting, to be honest with you. So keep that on top. And it gives us a nice pitch stack with a Codex and a Rain Razors in the same area. I guess in this situation, yeah, I want to pitch it because it's coming in for enough. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't think we've seen a Bolton shot yet, which is actually kind of crazy. But we do have to be somewhat worrisome about the possibility of fatigue. I think we're a ways from it, but he's more than willing to be defensive in these spots, which is kind of the scary part. So we're going to start working on our pitch stack. Get it as good as we can. Let's get that free look. Hopefully we can get it dominate. It's not the most exciting, but it actually does set something up that's kind of good. So we'll take it. We'll take any dominate really at this point that we can at least double pump. We cannot give it an aim counter, unfortunately, unless we want to come off of an arsenal, which I do not think is worth it. Although we are pre-metting. Yeah, we are pre-metting. Fuck, so we do want to do the aim counter. And that also pitches the Bolton shot next to the Rain Razors and the Codex, which is exactly what we're trying to do. And then we get to play both of these, which will make it 10 dominate, blocking 5. So it basically makes it where no matter what it hits, unless they have a direct in Arsenal, which would be unfortunate. Would be really unfortunate. Very likely that he does, though, to be honest. Although Vin's set, it's very difficult to kind of move those D-reacts into Arsenal. But the way that he's blocking would indicate that he does. Probably has a that's all you got in Arsenal and then a card in hand. There's one. And then that's all you got in Arsenal, maybe? You had to be giving me the armor for a reason. Okay, just taking it. We take those. Mission accomplished. We'll put that next to that. Arsenal that, because why not? And we can also put another Bolton shot next to it. This we're not really concerned with too terribly much. No way to gain go again, and then he loses 3 cards here, which is more than fine. So we're just going to elect to take this. I guess they do get to pitch into the Blood Rot at the bare minimum. But it is kind of shields down. They don't have an arsenal. It's going to be very hard for them to obtain a we really need a pump here. Bottom, then blind. Okay. Not exactly the one we want, but we're gonna We're going to look at the top card now to determine what we need to pitch to be able to fire whatever it is we're attempting to fire, right? Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to stack those Bolton shots and the Rain Razor and the Codex and all those together, right? Is kind of the idea. And it was reveals a Bolton shot. So we have a Bolton shot on top, a Bolton shot there. Okay. Already blocked. We do need to get one in the grave already for Codex, if I'm not mistaken. How many rains have we played? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to play this. Pitch this. And fire it. And it's only coming in for 7, but basically what we're trying to do is make it where he cannot arsenal a D-react without heavily paying for it, right? So yep, we're gonna get as much as we can here. We will. I'm unsure if we go ahead and get the 4 damage. It is 4 damage guaranteed. I think it's worth it. Okay, we load up one of the Spire Snipings, and that'll allow us to look at the top card. Or top 2 cards, if you will. Let's go ahead and top this. And then this. So we can dominate. Sure. It's irrelevant. What this is basically doing is just making it where they cannot attack us on the following turn is basically the goal of this. We don't want them to get, because they're going to be at very, very low life. And if they try to like RuneGate something, it can literally just be enough to kill them. And we want them to know that. Funeral Moon, that's pretty good. So we do want to go ahead and arsenal that card. We're going to take the Arcane and just give up the Arsenal. Not really that big of a deal, especially while we have, you know, a decent crackback, if you will. We just need to deal 1 damage, and we are good. Maybe a little bit more. We are going to look at the top. We could do a dominate scenario depending on what's up there, which we don't hate, which we definitely like. because that gives us the arsenal back. And it should be game anyway. It shouldn't even really matter. Should be exactly lethal. But like I said, we definitely had to play it in a manner where it was a real possibility. Oh, another sigil. Never mind. Spoke too soon. Sam just hanging on by a thread. What a hand. I think this is the hand. I think this is the stack. So we reveal the top card. I believe it's an arrow. Yep. We leave it on top. We go Dami. And that should do it. I don't think Sigil gets you out of that one. Those of you who don't know, that's Sam Dando. Another Rune Blade at heart. Although recently he's played Azuri. He started back in the day on Briar and stuff like that. Almost reacts to the bottom of the deck. Yeah. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate because what the hard part about D-Rex and Vincent is it's such a high opportunity cost to actually get them in the arsenal because it means you have to hold 2 cards, whereas everybody else can just hold 1 because you don't want to banish your D-React, obviously, right? So that's kind of the situation. But he was right. A lot of his D-Reacts were at the bottom. And we did kind of come out of the gate running. So, with that being said, I think I'm going to call it for the gameplay for today. If there's any questions you got in chat for me, shoot. I'll answer whatever I can. No problem. And then, like I said, I'm going to mention it one more time while I get any questions in chat if anybody has any. Up at the top of the chat is a link to the Twitch account, which I'm going to start streaming at. Just some more gameplay stuff. Nothing crazy, but I just wanted to move some attention to that platform because I think it's a lot better of a way to get people that don't know about the game into the game, right? It's a big difference when they see, whether it's 20 people watching or 100 or, whatever the case may be inside the category of Flesh and Blood on Twitch. And so I'm going to try to do my part and try to, get as many viewers over there as possible. So if you're interested in watching me stream over it, doing it later this week into next week, and going to start doing that. So if you would like to, please join me. I'd love to have you. And what do you think about Sandscour Azalea? I think it's a good deck. I don't think it's bad by any means. I just don't think it's as good as Death Dealer. I think you're giving up a lot of your really, really big turns for basically what you're doing is you're kind of you're shaving. Because with Sandscour, you get to look a whole card deeper and then also have another arsenal as backup. So you're basically saying if I'm playing Sandscour, I'm basically having a way lower chance to have that brick scenario not happen. Is basically what you're trying to accomplish by playing the Sandscour list. The problem is you're just not getting the straight value on Death Dealer, which means that you will actually end up losing a lot of matches that you historically are very favored into, aka Dash, Bolton, stuff like that, because they no longer or they have the ability to compete with you on an aggro axis on the basis of value because you're not getting refunded for your pitch card. And it kind of forces you, if you want to beat him on value, you kind of have to like wait for Tunic and make plays accordingly. which may or may not be worth it. Something you can. So that's kind of what you're doing is you're kind of sacrificing your aggro matches a little bit. You can counter that a little bit by putting like Memorial Ground in the deck and just kind of like recycling your red the ledgers a lot more often. There are ways that you can compensate for that. The problem is you're going to get fatigued a lot more and stuff. You're going to have problems against decks that you really need to go tall against, and it's just how it is. But if that's all the questions we got, I'm going to call it for this evening. I'm going to say thank you to everybody for joining me. I really do appreciate it. If you were here at the beginning, thank you so much for bearing with me. I know we had the internet problems at the very beginning, but that only lasted about 2 minutes, so we got that fixed. But I really do appreciate you hanging out. Question 2, LSS says Prism Advent of Thrones OP. Explain. Well, Lucas tried. Lucas had a valiant effort at the at the 20k battle harden. I think once Dromai is gone, she will be OP. I think it's as simple as that. Once that matchup leaves, I think she has a shot. Until then, I'm gonna have to disagree with them. Simple as that. That's what we're waiting on. But thanks everybody for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see some of you over on Twitch. And yeah,